What's going on, everyone? Living to learn here. Another video. Just again, happy to be here. Happy to be making this content on a weekly basis. Eventually, I think I'll get to a point where I'm putting out more than one video a week. I'll probably go back to putting out like a short or something else, or maybe another full video. I'm not sure really what I want to do, but got to get to that point eventually, just so that I'm putting more stuff out. But it's difficult. My schedule's different now, so it's a little bit tougher to commit to that. But eventually, right? But here I am again. If you're watching, if you are subscribed, if you're sharing this, if you're liking this, commenting on it, also donations. There's been some very generous financial donations, and I just want to give a heartfelt thank you to those who have contributed. That is always helpful. It's a big encouragement, and again, just very helpful, because this is it's not easy to always be, to stay consistent, this, and I've been able to do it so far, but that really helps out. So, thank you to everyone. But today, I want to share a story with you. This is actually this is a real life incident that took place. So, for those of you that don't know, or maybe I haven't made this clear, I am in sales, right? YouTube's not my full-time job yet. Maybe I'll get there. Who knows? But right now, I have a regular job, and so I love what I do. It's fun. Get to help people out, and make some money, right? Who doesn't like to do that? So anyway, I had the other day I had was 3 appointments that I had lined up. So I went to my first appointment, got with the customer, showed them everything we had, and educated them, just kind of helped them understand what separated our service and our product from the rest of the industry as far as what they were looking for. So long story short, we drew up a contract, and she signed. So I was able to close that sale. Headed over to my second appointment, and I'm feeling good. And they always say the best time to close a deal is right after you've closed one, right? I mean, you're feeling confident, you're feeling good. I mean, those of you that are in sales, or those of you that have been in sales before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You just have that confidence, right? It's just like, and it's such a difference maker, right? Which is why mindset is so important, especially in sales. My mindset is important no matter what, but in sales, it's absolutely critical that you have that confidence, even if you have to create it, right? Even if you have to create that confidence before you walk in the door, because people are not necessarily buying what you're selling. They're buying you, right? If they like you, if they like how you are, if you're making them feel heard, if they feel like you're listening and you actually care, they gravitate toward that, right? And again, I'm not selling snake oil. I'm selling something that's practical and that they need. So I'm not ripping them off or manipulating them, but nobody likes to be sold, and we have all kinds of reasons why we do or don't buy things. And it's an art form, right? And the people that are great at it, I'm trying to get there. I will get there, but I've seen some great ones, and it's just like, it's like nothing that you've ever seen before. It's like they just come in, and you've heard the term, they can sell ice to an Eskimo, and I know people like that, and it's pretty amazing. I'll get there eventually. But anyway, so I go to my next appointment. I go in there, and again, I have that confidence. I'm coming in, talking, I'm doing my thing, listening to them, getting their, what are your concerns, and just kind of laying things out, helping them differentiate, and I'm separating my company and my product from everyone else, helping them see why they should go with us. Guess what? As luck would have it, or as circumstances would have it, we get down to the pricing, and they love everything else, right? So loves the product, loved the design, felt good about the company, and then now I'm working on affordability, right? So I'm kind of I'm doing my thing. I know what promotions, like I know where I need to go price wise, and so I'm on my phone, right, using it as a calculator to try to figure out how I'm going to discount this or what I'm going to do, with this price here. And I get a text. And if you're in sales, this is the text you don't want to get, right? The customer I just left, the one I just sold, right? Maybe like a few hours before, texts me and says, "Hey, I've decided I want to cancel." And, I'm with another potential client, right? Another potential customer. And I see this because I'm on my phone using it for a calculator. And, it sucks, right? I mean, no shows, right? People not showing up to appointments that they set are terrible. And the only thing worse than that for a salesperson, or at least in my experience, is a cancellation. Because you work so hard. We work so hard to get that close, right? As my trainer said, if you want 100% close rate, go work at McDonald's because everyone in line is buying, right? Every other type of sale, you're just not going to close at 100%, right? You're just always going to, it's just never going to be 100%. So you're always dealing with getting the rejection. So when you finally do get to a close and you finally do close a sale, it feels great. You know all the work and everything that goes into getting to that moment. And then for someone to just take that all away, right, at the snap of a finger, it's tough, right? So, and I'm sitting there, so I'm like, okay, I read it, and I'm like, okay, I can't deal with that right now. I got someone else I'm dealing with. So at the same time, I'm sitting there, and so it was the people the customer I was with. There was a homeowner, and then he had his friends. So they weren't a couple. But it was a man and woman, and she was kind of like dictating the conversation on his behalf, which I was like, okay, I mean, to each their own, right? So she starts hitting me with this, well, hey, I talked to so-and-so, and, he told me, you guys, you could take 25% off of this price here and still make money. And in my mind, I'm like, who exactly is making money if I take 25% off here? Because I know I'm not. Like, yeah, I'm not getting, if I take 25% off of this price, I'm not making anything, right? Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. A sale's a sale. I mean, if you're in sales, you know, hey, crumbs, sometimes you get a whole loaf of bread, sometimes you get crumbs. I mean, you take it or leave it, right? I'll take it every time. But, there's a value to what I bring to the table. There's a skill set and a grit and a perseverance and a drive and everything else that goes into sales. And that's what I'm being paid for, right? So when you're taking that out of it, it's almost like you just drove down to my company and bought it yourself, right? Without me being there. So I read this text, and then this lady's over here just, pulling the rabbit out of the hat, basically, because I guess she talked to someone who was like a former employee. I don't know if they were disgruntled or what, but they started giving up the secrets, right? So as soon as she says that, the homeowner is like, well, yeah, I'm not doing anything unless you take that off the price. So, I ended up selling it. Okay. So I'm glad about that, right? I got the closed it, got it, close percentage increases. This person gets something that they needed because they did need what I was offering, and they got a great deal. And I didn't get it. I'll probably make, pennies off of that, which is fine, right? But anyway, so I'm driving to my next appointment. So my next appointment's a ways away, right? I had 3 that day, and I'm feeling a certain type of way. I'm not gonna lie, like, it was frustrating. I was frustrated because I had got that sale canceled on me, right, the same day. And then I had to, haggle with these people that were just, that were being unreasonable. And, again, like, I took the sale, but it was rough. I kind of felt like I was kind of felt like I felt a little beat up, and so I called my manager, kind of told him what, everything that happened, told him about the text I got, right? Of course, I called that person back and, hey, what's going on? Why are we canceling? What's, I made sure before I left, you didn't feel pressured, that I didn't, and, some people just change their mind, or I don't know. There's a million reasons, right? So talk to my manager. He's like, hey, man, sorry, that's tough. And I just told him, I said, look, I got 30 minutes. It was about a 30-minute drive to my next appointment. I said, I got 30 minutes to get over this, man. That's what I told him. So what do I do in those situations? What did I do in that situation? So the first thing I did, right after I got off the phone with him, and I'm thinking about this whole situation as I'm driving, the first thing I did was I thought to myself, what's the bigger picture here, Josh? What's the bigger picture? And the bigger picture is this. I'm in sales. Gonna win some, gonna lose some. Sometimes things are gonna go great. Sometimes they're not. And it's just as simple as that. So I reminded myself that. I said, listen, this is what you signed up for. This is what happens. Worst case scenarios take place. They happen. You start off on things start out great, and then they go south. Comes with the territory. The second thing I did was I reminded myself of the bigger picture, which is, what do I intend to do from here on out? Well, my intentions are going to be the same as they were before this happened to me. I'm going to work as hard as I can so that I can become as good or as great as possible at what I'm doing. I still have to work. I still have to practice. I still have to pick up tips and tricks from other sales reps. I still have to do my research and become an expert on what I'm doing. That doesn't change. So then I'm reminded, right? I remind myself, like, listen, you're going to be great at this, because you're not going to quit. That's the only way you can guarantee that you will eventually get where you want to go, is you're not going to quit. And I'm telling myself this, right, as I'm driving. Did it make me feel better? Did it make me feel like, no, I was still bothered. I was still a little upset, but I had to realign myself. Listen, if we feel sorry for ourselves, that is the worst place to be. And it's such a tempting place to go. I mean, it's so tempting to just want to say, oh, woe is me. And oh man, that's, poor me. Right. And yeah, poor me. That sucks. I got canceled on. I lost money. I lost, all my time and effort went out the door. So yeah, it was terrible. It's not a good situation. But what would I accomplish if I just sat there and wallowed in my self-pity? So I canceled that real quick. At least I pushed that to the corner of my mind to say, you know what? You got to take a back seat right now. I'm not going to do this. I get to my third appointment. Gentleman answers the door. We start talking. Now, long story short, I didn't close this deal. But you know what? I did walk away with a win. I'll tell you why. Because what I did gain here with this gentleman was perspective. Here was a man that had just recently become partially disabled, right? Moving around slow. Couldn't do the things he used to do. He was telling me that he had been with this company for over 30 years. Had an accident at work. And in his words, these are his words, what he told me. He said, man, as soon as I got hurt, they forgot about me. They forgot I existed. They wanted nothing to do with me. And I could hear the pain. I could see it in his eyes as we were talking. And I'm listening to this gentleman. I'm letting him tell me his story. And it gave me perspective. And I left that house with perspective. And I said, you know what? This is the conversation I didn't even know I needed to have. What did it teach me? Well, first of all, it taught me that whenever I think I'm in a bad situation, there's probably someone who's in a worse one. So that's another reason not to feel sorry for myself. Because remember, I'm not the only one. I won't be the only one. It's just how it goes. but also the fact that, it's like tomorrow's another day, right? Tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another opportunity. Like, don't let the moment swallow you up. Even good moments, right? Like, what if I'd have closed 2 deals that day, which I thought I was on track for, and I was really excited because it would have been the first time I've done it with this company. I was like, man, I was already excited. But what am I going to live? Am I going to live in that moment for the next day? Because the next day is a different one. New clients, new customers, new obstacles, new objections. Well, same objections, maybe delivered in a new way. It's the game is on again. Like, so don't get wallowed down in that. Don't let that anchor you down. Again, whether good or bad. And so that's my video for today. Just want to share my story. Real life stuff, right? I'm a real person. I go through things. I'm on here. I'm an aspiring life coach. I like to give advice. I like to help people out. And I don't get it right all the time. Things happen to me too. I'm living in this world just like you are. And so I wanted to share that with you. Just something out of my life, just an experience and what it taught me and how I dealt with it when it was right front and center in my face. Because it's one thing to talk about it. It's one thing to read about it. It's one thing to give advice or to talk about things. But when you are actually feeling it and you experience it, it's a whole nother animal. It's a whole nother thing. That's when everything that I talk about, everything I try to build myself on, all these principles that I have, that's when it really matters. When I can actually apply it in real life situations with real emotions, with my mind really like a magnet trying to pull me toward that self-pity, trying to pull me toward that poor me and woe is me situation, when in reality it's like I could be like this gentleman that I just met. I could be in a much worse situation. So we got to get out of our heads. I had to get out of my head in that one. So today's a new day. I'm ready. I'm going to close some deals. I'm going to go sell something that someone needs. And they're not going to feel sold. They're going to feel like I was there to consult them. And that's what we do. That's what I do. And so pray for me. Wish me luck. Send good vibes. However you want to do it. I appreciate it. But yeah, I just wanted to share this one with you. I wanted to be real with you. I wanted to be raw with you and let you know that, hey, this guy behind the camera that's talking all the time, he's actually going through it as well. And I'm struggling with it. I'm wrestling with it. I'm trying to bring all those things close to home so that I have something to work with when I find myself in those situations. And that is what I'm hoping I'm able to give you as well. So anyway, everyone have a great day. Have a great rest of your week. And thank you again for your support.